I'm Pat Kelly. I'm Training Grounds Manager here in the Curragh, and I manage all the gallops on the Curragh facilities. I'm originally from Louth, so that's how I ended up in Old Meads. I used to go up my motorbike, Honda 50, and then I went on and I left Old Meads and I went to work for Henry Cleary in Wexford. And Henry was good to me, rode plenty of horses for him, got loads of experience. Struggled with the winners, obviously young enough, but gradually got going at that. And then left Henry's and went to Jim Bulger for a while, tried my hand at that, and rode out a lot of good flat horses, got to know what it was like to sit on a good horse. And it was different from the Pint of Pints. And all that time I stayed riding, did Pint of Pinting and rode in the track during that time as well. And then after that I moved to the Curragh, moved to PJ Finn, and rode a lot for PJ, rode a lot of winners. We had a good innings together, and in all this time I was riding sort of, for a better word, you'd call a freelance Pint of Pint, and I rode for a lot of lads, anyone that wanted me basically. So had a good old innings, rode a good few winners. Curragh's over 5,000 acres in general. We have over 800 acres of it railed in for the sole purposes of the training ground and the race course. And most of our gallops are there, but some of them are outside of our rails as well, different parts of the Curragh. At the moment, the training ground opens 365 days of the year. Obviously we close early on Sundays and Christmas time and that, but in general it's open till 1 o'clock, from daylight to 1 o'clock. Our core bunch of Curragh trainers who have, they apply for a Curragh licence, and that gives them special privileges on the Curragh. And once they register, each horse they have in their care is charged a set rate for the use of the gallops, and that's done over a 3-month period. Each horse, 3 months is the period, and then you renew again. The non-Curragh trainers get to use the facilities after a set time, and they pay a daily fee to come and use the place, any of the gallops, between approximately 10 and 1 o'clock. Father had always a love for horses. He would have worked horses years ago, and then he always had a love for horses. So once he got me interested, he bought ponies, and we started going to ponies, and then graduated from ponies, show jumping into hunting trials, and then he bought a mare, big turbid mare for me, and bought her originally to go show jumping. And at that stage I was starting to lean towards speed, was starting to catch me out, so I ended up going working then as fairly young lad I went to Old Meads to work, and I turned my show jumping mare into a Pint of Pint mare, and was lucky enough to ride my first winner when I was 16 on her. It was in Enfield, it was in John Fowler's in Enfield, and it was only my 4th ride, and it took me a while to ride another one, but yeah, she was bomb-proof. I rode a treble in Tinnahealy one day and just got to ride a few good horses, new half putchies by, horses that went on to be good horses, far senior, different types of horses, all young horses obviously. So it's before the real Pint of Pint 4-year-olds that we're in now. That time it wasn't just as commercial as it is now, but like there was still plenty of good horses came through the Pint of Pint fields at that stage. Health and safety is at the moment is playing a big part and driving everything forward in the Pint of Pint field. You know what I mean? The standards now are second to none. They're as good as most tracks, you know what I mean, in regards to their fences and the whole, as opposed to what they used to be when I started out. When I was riding, there was a lot more farmers had their own horse. Fun horses was more involved in the Pint of Pint then. Probably gone over a little bit. Everything's gone so expensive. It's a bit more commercial, and it has to pay for itself. So from that point, it's changed a bit. In general, the riding standards, I would say it was every bit as good back when I was riding. The standards now is very good. Back in my day, you had Ted Walsh, you had Tony Martin, John Berry, all lads at that standard. Enda Bulger, riding for Pa Hogan, Padgeberry. The standard would, like, if you wanted to win at that time as well, it was a very high standard as well. So yeah, some great memories back in the day riding again now.